At syempre, i-click nyo na rin po ang notification bell para naman lagi kayong updated sa mga bagong videos ng EBC Films. At yun lang po. Maraming salamat.
Magandang umaga, Filipinos. Good morning. You're watching Eagle News Mornings from Canada. I'm Thomas I. Lightness, reporting from our Eagle News studio in the Western Canadian province of Alberta. My city is in Edmonton, I think, and I'm bringing you news and commentary from across the country. Well, good Wednesday morning. Kind of lighthearted this morning. You know, we're halfway through the week. Well, wait a minute. Yeah, it is Wednesday morning. So what's the weather like this morning in Metro? Well, in Metro Manila, AccuWeather tells us it should get up to 34 degrees today with a real feel of 40. Thunderstorms expected this afternoon and evening. The air quality today rated as excellent. So if you want to go out for a walk, shouldn't be any problem there. Currently, it's cloudy and 28 degrees, but feels like 32. Stopped at the market a little bit earlier this week. Stocked up on that 3-in-1, just broke it out there. So fix yourself another cup, sit back, relax, and we'll tell you what's happening in Canada. First, we'll take a look at the weather across the country. Our street scene today comes from the Greater Vancouver area. And I want to thank Ian Suarez, the brother of our executive producer, Jay Suarez, for this street scene where we can see the Port Mann Bridge. Now, it's located in Surrey, and Surrey is kind of right next door to Vancouver. You cross Boundary Street and you're in Surrey. Across the country, we could call the West Coast the wet coast because we got rain. Rain both in Victoria and Vancouver, and both cities reporting 12 degrees. Sunshine and just a few clouds in Edmonton, 19 degrees here. In Calgary, partly cloudy and 15. We're moving to Saskatchewan, where Regina's at 20 degrees with clouds. Saskatoon, mostly cloudy and 17. Winnipeg has cooled off considerably today. You know, it was in the mid-20s earlier this week. They only got up to 15 degrees today with clouds. Toronto, it looks like a heat wave again. Partly cloudy, 31. Ottawa, mostly cloudy and 21. Montreal, cloudy and 21. The Atlantic provinces, partly cloudy all across the Atlantic provinces, except Prince Edward Island, where it is really cloudy and raining. Fredericton at 21, Halifax at 19. We go up to St. John's, Newfoundland. Oh my goodness, it's chilly there. Really chilly, only 7 degrees. Some of the stories we're following today, police are feeling the brunt of anti-racism protests, and we'll have a look at how Toronto police are handling this. What are the chances of a second wave of a pandemic? Well, we'll find out how Canadians and Americans feel about that. The government will crack down on people who cheated to get pandemic benefits. That ending to a whale of a story from Montreal, I should say. When will we see hockey? Well, we'll have an update on that. We begin in Toronto this morning, where, like in many other cities across North America, around the world, police have been the target of protesters in anti-racism rallies. Eagle News correspondent April Masongsong tells us what steps police in that city are taking to restore public confidence. That story appears to be unavailable. If we can get it before the end of the broadcast, we will bring it to you then. Well, do you think there'll be a second wave of the COVID-19 pandemic? That question was asked in a public opinion poll which surveyed Canadians and Americans. It seems Canadians are more pessimistic about that than people in the U.S. when they were asked whether they believe, will COVID-19 reappear? The poll suggested 3 out of 4 Canadians and nearly 2/3 of Americans believe there will be a second wave of the virus. It also revealed that 72% of Canadians asked fear the second wave will be as strong or stronger than the current pandemic 18% thought it would be weaker. In the U.S., the same question revealed 77% of Americans thought the second wave would be strong or stronger. 11% thought it would be weaker. But who should be responsible for avoiding a second wave? Individual citizens or government? In Canada, 80% say individual citizens. The U.S., 68% say is the responsibility of individuals. Canadians also appeared to be more open to being vaccinated against COVID-19 when one is developed. The poll revealed 68% of Canadians would opt for immunization compared to only 55% of Americans. But what about face masks? Well, there the trend is a bit reversed. More Americans than Canadians thought masks should be mandatory. In the States, 2/3 of those in the U.S. who were asked say they would support making masks mandatory when you're out in public. Just over half of Canadians felt the same way. Well, in my city, the number of COVID-19 cases is relatively small. We're at 106. And even though it's small, what's concerning is double. We've doubled that rate in just 1 week. What happened? What happened? Well, according to our Chief Medical Officer of Health, Dr. Dina Hinshaw, a number of those cases are related to a couple of social events.
With the slowdown in cases in Alberta, I know it has been tempting to believe that we can relax all precautions. Unfortunately, this is not the case. It is critical that all of us continue to take steps to protect our communities.
Remember, even at social gatherings with friends who have no symptoms, you must social distance. And no potlucks. I know, I love them too, but no potlucks. That's just a great way to spread the disease, and you don't want to do that. Now, you hear from a lot of people, the pandemic is over. For people who tell you that, let me tell you what Toronto doctor Abdu Sharkawi tells us. He wrote this in a tweet. Incidentally, Dr. Sharkawi is an infectious disease specialist in Toronto. He's on the front lines. He's in that emergency room every day. He's outspoken. He tells it like it is. I like him. As a matter of fact, on his Twitter profile, he says, I mince my meat. I don't mince my words. There's no voodoo science with this guy. This is what he wrote in his tweet. The pandemic is only over for people who don't survive it. Yeah, it's over for them. Something to think about. I like him. Well, Dr. Hinshaw here also had some advice for people taking part in anti-racism protests.
The freedom to protest is a critical one, and yet we face a challenge in this time of pandemic to do so without risking super spreader events. I want to encourage all those who attended protests this weekend to go for COVID-19 testing, whether or not you have symptoms.
Across North America as a result of those rallies, but that's just a fact of life. Well, people who cheated to get the Canada Emergency Response Benefit could face big fines, perhaps even jail time. Now, this isn't for sure. The government is considering the legislation right now to go after people who knowingly defrauded the program. That program gave workers who lost their jobs because of the pandemic $2,000 a month. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says he has no tolerance for these scofflaws.
But unfortunately, in every situation, there are a few criminals who will deliberately try to take advantage of a moment of solidarity, a moment where we're in crisis and we're trying to help each other out by deliberately frauding the system. And as I said, defrauding the system. As I said from the very beginning, we will make sure that we are punishing people who try to take advantage of this situation. And we've put measures in place that will allow us to go after the deliberate fraudsters who are trying to game the system for criminal benefits.
But what about people who mistakenly received the money because of honest mistakes, or they applied for it and then their employer applied for a different subsidy that covers them, so they were getting both for a while? What about them? Are they going to be punished? Trudeau says, no. They should not worry.
Now, there may be a number of people who mistakenly took both the CERB and the wage subsidy because they weren't sure what they were going to do and they were really worried and they just took everything. Those people will simply have to pay back the one that they shouldn't have been taken, and we're not looking at punishing people who made honest mistakes. Obviously, this is a time for us to pull together as a country.
So was it incompetence? Like, why weren't there more safeguards in this system? Well, there's actually a very good reason for it as to how these mistakes happened.
The Canada Emergency Response Benefit was put in place in a way that we knew would maximize the speed with which it would reach the millions of Canadians that needed it. That's why we didn't put a tremendous amount of complicated checks and background checks and verifications up front, because we needed to flow that money quickly to the millions of Canadians who had no more paychecks and didn't know how they were going to pay for their groceries or their rent. And that's what we did. But we always knew from the beginning that there would be mistakes, and indeed that there would be a small number of fraudsters who would try to take advantage of it.
You know, more than 800 million people received that benefit since it was announced in March. And, you know, I'm like my friend, the good doctor from Toronto there. I like to tell it like it is. And in this case, that really was a good program. And yeah, there were a few people who took advantage of it, but they're cleaning up. They're going to fix that up. We go back to Toronto this morning, where, like I was telling you before, our Eagle News correspondent there, April Masong, telling us about what steps police in that city are taking to restore public confidence.
This past weekend, Toronto once again saw peaceful protests against anti-Black racism and police brutality that are being done across North America and the world. In response to this, Toronto Mayor John Tory announced yesterday that the city recognizes anti-Black racism as a public health crisis. Take a look.
We know that anti-Black racism and anti-Indigenous racism exist, and other forms of racism as well. They exist in our city and in our country. And we are committed to confronting them and to ultimately ending all forms of racism.
To enhance transparency and trust between the police and the people, Mayor John Tory adds that the city is working to fast-track the rollout of body cameras to be worn by Toronto police as early as the summer. Take a listen. That's why we approved the implementation of body-worn cameras for officers last year, and why we are now working to fast-track the rollout of those cameras this year. Along with this news, Mayor Tory also announced that after 37 years of service, Toronto Chief Police Mark Saunders will be retiring on July 31st, ahead of his contract, which was supposed to end 2021.
So on behalf of all Toronto residents, and we'll have more chance to talk about this later, but I want to say a simple word of thanks to Chief Saunders for his exemplary service as Chief, but also over all of those years of service to us and to our city.
Toronto Chief Police Mark Saunders expressed his gratitude and appreciation to his fellow police officers and to the entire city. Take a listen. Today, I announced that my last day as Chief of the Toronto Police Service will be July 31st, 2020. I'm honored to have served, and I have every confidence in the members of the Toronto Police to continue to serve and protect the best city in the world. During this weekend's protests, Chief Saunders, along with Toronto Police, showed their support for the peaceful protests and took a knee along with the protesters. Take a listen. We see you and we are listening. The Toronto Police fully supports peaceful and safe protests this weekend and always. We have to all stay in this together to make change. The fight against anti-racism at the same time as the COVID-19 pandemic continues to bring about changes not only to the lives of individual citizens, but also the political and moral landscape of the world. In Toronto, April Masong, Eagle News, we live in interesting times.
A lot of these people, I should say, a lot of businesses, as people are going back to work, are struggling. One of the problems they have is there enough personal protective equipment so that they can meet public health requirements and keep their staff and customers safe? Prime Minister Trudeau again says, don't worry, more supplies on the way. Well, still to come, remember that wayward whale we talked about last week? We'll have an update on that, and we'll have an update also from the National Hockey League with what's happening there. You're watching Eagle News Mornings from Canada.
Patindi ng patindi at tuloy-tuloy ang pagpapakita ng galing ng ating mga TNG aspirants. Abangan ng kanilang performances sa pinakamalaking talent competition sa buong bansa, Tagisan ng Galing.
This program is presented by SMC Infrastructure, building a better world. Sandig sugar-free white coffee, puno ng white coffee taste without the sugar, kaya lower calories. Try mo na Sandig sugar-free white coffee. Sarap ng white coffee, now sugar-free. Vet-approved Nutrichos, the only premium dog food with active boost for optimum energy and prebiotics that help strengthen immunity. Just like Catherine Bernardo, gawing listo ganado ang fur babies niyo. Listo ganado sa Nutrichos. Magnolia Chicken Templados, delicious, ready to cook and freshly marinated daily. Pure Foods Luncheon Meat, pure sarap for every family. Star Chunky Cheese Corned Beef, ang cheesy ng corned beef mo. Walang duda, kids can tell na number 1 ang Pure Foods Tender Juicy. Ang tender, ang juicy, ang sarap. Co-presented by Cooper, expert in air conditioning and electromechanical. Also engaged in structural, electrical, fire protection, plumbing, and sanitary services. Cooper, your ultimate MEPS and air conditioning solutions. Unlad Incorporated International, fight against global poverty. New San Jose Builders Incorporated. Canrib Corporation, your ventilation and air conditioning specialist. Vita Herbs Philippines Green Coffee, masarap, mabango, at healthy pa. Puerto Rico Resort and Convention Center, Cabiao, Nueva Ecija. I love Puerto Rico. In participation with Rain or Shine Elastomeric Waterproofing Paint, Matinco. R Square Variables Incorporated, CompuZell Computer Services, Saisho International Trading Corporation, DN Steel, EMAC UPB Roof Corporation.
Hey, Gretchen Ho here, and I'm a white coffee lover. Creamy kasi, and very yummy. Pero mas masarap kung hindi nakaka-guilty. Check my new discovery, Sandwich Sugar-Free White Coffee. Puno ng white coffee taste without the sugar, kaya lower calories. Try mo na! Sandwich Sugar-Free White Coffee. Sarap ng white coffee, now sugar-free.
The Bulacan Bulk Water Project is a treatment facility that will provide bulk water to the 24 municipalities of Bulacan to meet the increasing water demand of its residents. Through concessionaire, SMC Infrastructure also initiated the significant improvements of the Manila North Harbor Port, the country's busiest port.
Listo at ganado ang baby ko sa vet-approved Nutrichunks with active boost and prebiotics na pampalisto. Made with real meat, with essential nutrients to help them grow healthy and happy. Listo, ganado sa Nutrichunks.
Ikaw lang ang star ng buhay ko. Para sa akin, perfect ka. Ibang klase ang sarap ng corned beef mo. Ang cheesy ng corned beef mo. Pag Star Chunky Cheese Corned Beef, sarap ng corned beef, inangat pa ng real cheese cubes. Kaya perfect ang sarap. Star Chunky Cheese Corned Beef.
This is Eagle News Mornings from Canada. I'm Thomas I. Likeness. Well, my province, Alberta, is about to enter stage 2 of the reopening process. That begins on Friday, and it means more businesses, more services can resume. Also, places of worship can open up to more people. There will be social distancing that has to be accommodated, but there's no specific cap on the numbers of people as long as we're abiding by social distancing and other public health regulations. As well, outdoor gatherings can have up to 100 people, but indoor gatherings will be limited to 50. Schools can reopen for requested diploma exams and also summer school. Libraries, I love libraries. They'll be open, but there'll be some restrictions. Wellness services such as massage, acupuncture, and reflexology, they'll resume. Personal services, including aesthetics, cosmetics, skin and beauty treatment, manicures. Oh, I can get my nails done. Pedicures, waxing, and facial treatments, that can all be done. Movie theaters, they'll be allowed to reopen, but there will again be restrictions. Community halls, again, limits on attendance. Team sports. Now, they'll be able to kind of resume, but there will be restrictions and no more than 50 players, and provincial campgrounds will operate at full capacity. Alberta Premier Jason Kenney expects there will be criticism that he's either moving too fast or too slow. Premier Kenney, what are you going to tell your critics?
So I would say to those folks, stay calm, carry on. We don't need to panic when there will inevitably be increases in active cases. To the contrary, what we need to do is support each other in using these common sense guidelines. And you know what? Enjoying life. I've said this before. People shouldn't feel guilty now about going out responsibly with their family to a restaurant. They shouldn't second guess supporting, going to their local place of worship within the limitations that are in place. They should enjoy the beautiful Alberta summer. They should be able to travel with, observing the guidelines to get out around the province to our provincial parks. We're also releasing today the 50% cap on the number of people who can go to provincial campgrounds. So enjoy life, do it safely, and no need to panic.
Good advice. Enjoy life. Don't panic. I'm always pleased to have the voice of Eagle News from Ottawa join us on the morning program. And a good morning to Andre Lajoie. Andre, unfortunately, some sad news about that big visitor to Montreal.
Yes, good morning, Tom. This morning, the whale that was seen in near Montreal waters in the St. Lawrence Seaway, they retrieved the whale as it was swimming all weekend in the Bay of Montreal. And it's been like so many years that they didn't see any whales coming through the channels in Montreal. So the humpback whale was seen on the beach of Montreal diving for 45 seconds and coming up, so that people were all gathered and taking pictures. This is it's been a long time that we didn't see any people from Montreal coming out for activities, but this is one of the biggest activities that people feel that it was extraordinary to see a whale so close to the city. The whale has been seen from Tadoussac to Quebec City to Montreal and follow the current, which is pretty rare to see a whale going against the current of the St. Lawrence Seaway. The whale was being watched by the Canadian Coast Guard and was not seen on Sunday. Last Sunday, they were looking for it, but finally this morning they located the whale at Varennes, close on the other side of Montreal, about 500 miles from Montreal. So the residents were pretty much saddened to see the whale die so soon. Reporting from Montreal in Canada, Andre Lajoie, we live in interesting times.
Sad story, Andre. It really is. But that whale was a long way from home. It's just something you don't see.
Yes, Tom. Usually the whales, they hang around Tadoussac, which is on the other side of Quebec City. And for the whale to travel against the current to go to Quebec City, which the current is pretty hard on that type of animal, and especially many boats traveling around that area. So it went right up to Montreal. So it was pretty, the Coast Guard and they were pretty impressed to see that the whale comes so close, as well as Ocean and Park Canada, which they were trying to find out what was the reason that the whale came so close to the city. We know that there's not that much food for them also, so it's, yeah.
Just faulty GPS, I guess.
Yes,
Thank you for joining us this morning, Andre, and as always, don't be a stranger. You're always welcome on the program.
Thank you, Tom.
For hockey fans, it's kind of like waiting for your birthday to come. You know, that day is getting closer and closer when play will resume. You're full of anticipation. Eagle sports reporter Zarita Sese is back live with us today. Zarita, what you're about to tell us has got to be good news for fans waiting to see some action on the ice. You know, they're just like kids. They're like kids waiting to blow out the candles on the cake.
Good morning, Tom. And fans are just going to have to wait a little bit longer to actually blow out those candles. So it was just announced last week that the NHL is finally moving on to the next phase 2 of the return to play protocol, starting this week, actually. So just as a reminder, phase 1 was a league-mandated quarantine where clubs could not open any of their facilities regardless of what the governing bodies in their area advised. So clubs are now able to open their facilities for their players to start training, and all of this is going to be done on a voluntary basis. So if group sessions are going to occur, they will be limiting players of up to 6 players with limited number of coaching and training staff. So prior to clubs actually opening their facilities, the league was very specific and outlined the measures that organizations will need to take in order to be safe enough to open to like education and also testing their organizations. Teams have already taken advantage of this, as yesterday was the first day that teams were actually allowed to open their facilities. So we've seen small groups from the Toronto Maple Leafs, Edmonton Oilers, Vegas Golden Knights take the ice, and of course they're doing so in small groups, and when those groups are out, they're on at different times. But with sports slowly coming back, everyone keeps talking about the physical conditioning of these players, but Zach Hyman of the Maple Leafs actually addressed the mental aspect of this pandemic and how it's going to be an adjustment when they go from training in their condos by themselves in their homes to getting back on the ice with actual people, which I think is an important aspect to actually consider as well. So general managers, organizations around the league continue to be understanding towards the conditions in which the players are actually coming back to, emphasizing that if players do not feel comfortable, they at least have the option to come back when they want to. So it's still unknown when the league will actually move on to phase 3, which essentially would be a training camp. But what we do know is that it will not occur any earlier than July 10th. So reporting from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, Zarita Sese, Eagle News, we live in interesting times.
Zarita, the kids are still waiting to find out, though, will there be any play in Canada? Has any decision been made on a hub city? Is it even possible? Because, you know, we've got the border problem, and I just heard an unconfirmed report that the border's again going to remain closed for another month. So what about a hub city in Canada?
That is a consideration that the NHL is still looking into, and I think Premier Doug Ford mentioned that Canadian government is still in talks with the NHL, so it's not completely off the table, but it will have to happen once the mandatory quarantine is pretty much taken out for these athletes.
Any bets on where it might be? We're down to 3 choices. I know.
Where you'd
like it to be, but
I mean, I'm all for Toronto, but I think at this point, anywhere in Canada, the fans would be happy.
I think so, too. Thanks for joining us. And again, like I said to Andre, don't be a stranger. You're always welcome on the program.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you. Well, if you're looking for good programming that's entertaining and uplifting, look no further than EBC. You know, that's where you'll find programs like Digital Nest, the Home Edition. It's a program for dreamers, for avid learners. Join the explorers, the curious, the go-getters as they share their interests and trends that they're following. Digital Nest, Home Edition with host Julianne Docena. You can find it on Facebook. You can find it on YouTube. On behalf of our Canadian news team, I wish you all good health. Take care of others. Take care of yourselves. Stay home, stay safe, and stay tuned to Eagle News for accurate and balanced coverage of the COVID-19 pandemic and other current affairs. In Edmonton, Canada, Thomas I. Likeness, Eagle News. We live in interesting times. Stay tuned for Agila Balita, hosted by Maricar Velasco.
Thank you, Thomas. Take care.
You too, Maricar.
Na ang mga pangunahing balita sa loob at labas ng bansa. Tinagit at kinalap ng Agila News Team. Agila Balita.
Narito ang may init na balita. Ngayon ay Miyerkules, Hunyo 10, 2020. Sa ulo ng mga balita. COVID-19 cases sa bansa nadagdagan pa ng 518. Kabuang kaso pumalo na sa 22,992. Financial assistance sa mga health workers na tinamaan ng COVID-19 na ipamahagi na ng Department of Health. Pinagtibay na anti-terror bill na isumite na ng Senado at Kamara sa Malacanang para lagdaan ni Pangulong Duterte. Sa ating balitang abroad, opposition leader ng Tanzania nasugatan matapos atakihin ng 3 lalaki. Ako ang inyong magiging tagapaghatid balita. Ako po si Maricar Velasco. Sa detalye ng mga balita, umakyat na sa 22,992 ang kabuang bilang ng COVID-19 cases na naitala sa bansa. Batay sa datos ng Department of Health, may naitalang 580 na karagdagan pang kaso. Pero sa bilang na ito ay 280 ang fresh cases habang 238 naman ang late cases. Sa mga fresh cases na ito, 61 ang mula sa National Capital Region, 82 mula sa Region 7, ang 150 naman ay mula sa iba pang lugar sa bansa, habang ang 22 ay mula sa hanay ng repatriates. Sa mga late cases naman, ang 89 ay mula sa NCR, 4 mula sa Region 7, 142 mula sa iba't ibang lugar sa bansa, at 3 naman mula sa hanay ng repatriates. May 99 namang naitala na bagong naka-recover mula sa COVID-19. Kaugnay nito, umakyat na sa 4,736 ang bilang ng mga pasyenteng gumaling mula sa virus. Patuloy namang bumababa ang mga naitatalang bilang ng nasawi dahil sa COVID-19 kung saan 6 lamang ang bagong naitala ng kagawaran. Sa ngayon, umabot na sa 1,017 ang kabuang bilang ng nasawi sa bansa dahil sa COVID-19. Sa kabila ng pagtaas ng fresh COVID-19 cases na inire-report ng Department of Health sa publiko nitong mga nakalipas na araw, hindi pa rin ito nangangahulugan ng pagtaas ng mga kaso ng virus infection sa bansa. Ito ang ginawang paglilinaw ni Health USEC Maria Rosario Vergere kasabay ng pagkukumpirma na sinisimulan na rin nila ang pag-trace kung kailan ba talaga nagsimula ang sakit ng mga inire-report na COVID patients sa DOH. Ang fresh cases ay mga test results na nailabas sa nakalipas na 3 araw. Paliwanag ni Vergere dahil sa ilang problema o kakulangan sa detalye sa record ay ang petsa kung kailan na i-release ang resulta ng COVID test ang kanilang ginagamit na batayan sa pagtukoy ng fresh cases.
Natanggap na yung sample maybe 5 days before at na-test lang siya 3 days ago. So, kailangan natin talaga binabalikan namin yung mga onset of illness because that would be the most accurate para masabi natin if these are cases na bago talaga o hindi.
Sa ngayon, inaayos na anya ng Epidemiology Bureau ng DOH ang mga datos upang sa mga darating na araw ay maging updated na ang mga datos na ire-report nila sa publiko. Aminado rin ng opisyal na hanggang ngayon ay hindi pa rin nauubos ang mga backlog cases sa kagawaran. Hindi kasi anya ito may iwasan dahil sa ilang mga sitwasyong hindi rin nila kontrolado. Pero tiniyak ni Vergere na ginagawa nila ang lahat upang masolusyonan ito.
I think that was 13 or 14,000 backlogs. Start of May ba yun or end of April? And then we were able to bring it down to just 545. About 2 weeks ago, nag-usap-usap tayo, di ba, na may instruction coming from Malacanang. And during that weekend, ang nasira naman ng Western Visayas Medical Center. So nag-scale down siya ng operations at pagpasok ng week na yon, meron na tayo uling 2,000 plus na backlog. So they were already again instructed to reduce the backlogs and by the end of last week, meron tayong natira na lang na 1,000 something. And then nagkaroon ako ng report last, I think that was Saturday, 2,200 ang backlogs. And yesterday, it was down to 1,500.
Financial assistance para sa mga health workers na tinamaan ng COVID-19 na ipamahagi na ng DOH ayon sa Malacanang. May report si Vic Sumintak.
Naibigay na ng Department of Health o DOH ang tig-1 milyong pisong ayuda ng pamahalaan sa 26 na health workers na namatay dahil sa COVID-19. Ayon kay Presidential Spokesman Secretary Harry Roque, 17 naman sa 18 health workers na nagkasakit at gumaling sa COVID-19 ang nabigyan ng tig-100,000 pisong ayuda. Sinabi ni Roque, 2 naman sa mga health workers na namatay ang hindi mabibigyan ng 1 milyon dahil sa eligibility issue. Sa ilalim ng Bayanihan to Heal as One Act, bibigyan ng 1 milyong piso ang mga health workers na namatay sa COVID-19 at 100,000 piso naman sa mga gumaling. Sa talaan ng DOH, 32 health workers ang namatay dahil sa COVID-19. Magugunitang nagalit si Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte sa DOH dahil sa mabagal na pagbibigay ng pinansyal na ayuda sa mga health workers na biktima ng COVID-19. Ngayong June 9 ang ibinigay na deadline ng Pangulo sa DOH sa pagbibigay ng monetary compensation sa mga health workers na tinamaan ng COVID-19.
Itong mga benepisyo po ito ay nakasaad sa batas, sa Bayanihan We Heal as One Act. Makikita po natin sa infographic ang latest report. Sa mga namatayan, 26 out of 30 families na po ang nakatanggap ng kanilang kompensasyon na 1 million pesos. Ang 4 ay naghihintay ng special power of attorney, 2 rito ay nasa abroad, 2 po ay delisted. Hindi po sila eligible para mabigyan ng compensation. Sa mga nagkasakit naman po, na health worker, 17 sa 18 ay nakatanggap na po ng kanilang cheque. Ito po ay 100,000 para po sa mga seryosong nagkasakit dahil sa COVID-19. Meron pa pong isa for pick-up. Hayaan niyo po, babantayan pa rin po natin ito. The President gave them until today to completely deliver the benefits accorded to our frontliners.
Para sa Eagle News, Vic Sumintak, we live in interesting times.
Iniimbestigahan na ng DOH ang kaso ng pagkamatay ng isang doktor ng PNP matapos na masprayan ng disinfectant. May report si Madeline Villar Moratillo.
Nagsasagawa na ng investigasyon ng Department of Health sa pagkamatay ng isang doktor ng PNP matapos ma-sprayan ng disinfectant. Ayon kay Health Undersecretary Maria Rosario Vergere, nitong nakaraang linggo ay natanggap nila ang report patungkol sa nasabing insidente. Pero sa ngayon ay hindi pa aniya sila maaaring makapagbigay ng anumang detalye pagkat patuloy pa ang investigasyon rito. Pero tiniyak ng opisyal na kabilang sa kanilang aalamin ay kung nagkaroon ng paglabag sa protocol na naging dahilan ng pagkasawi ng PNP doctor.
So halimbawa katulad yung nangyari dito sa atin sa Ultra, titignan natin kung may violations ba or breaches in protocol na nangyari at ang mananaig dyan ng mga patakaran o mga batas na meron tayo dito sa bansa.
Kasabay nito nagpaalala si Vergere hinggil sa panganib na maaaring maidulot ng misting at spraying ng disinfectant sa kalusugan ng tao.
Just so that we have reminded everybody na ito talagang misting and spraying is not really recommended for direct spraying sa mga tao. Kaya natin pinatigil agad yung mga misting tents na naglipanan nung araw noong mga April pa yan, nung Holy Week yan I can remember. Kasi nga nagpalabas na ang WHO din, sinasabing hindi talaga siya recommended and it might cause harm.
Batay sa ulat, ang nasabing PNP doctor na kinilalang si Captain Cassie Gutierrez ay kabilang sa mga frontliner ng pambansang pulisya at nagkatalaga sa PhilSports Arena na ikinonvert bilang quarantine facility sa mga COVID patients. Batay sa ulat, ang nasabing PNP doctor na kinilalang si Captain Cassie Gutierrez ay kabilang sa mga frontliner ng pambansang pulisya at nakatalaga sa PhilSports Arena na ikinonvert naman bilang quarantine facility para sa mga COVID patients. Sumasailalim umano si Gutierrez sa decontamination matapos mag-asikaso ng isang pasyente nang bigla itong makaranas ng hirap sa paghinga. Dinala umano ito sa PNP General Hospital sa Camp Crame para sa initial na treatment pero inilipat din sa Lung Center of the Philippines kung saan makalipas ang ilang araw ay pumanaw rin. Ipinaliwanag ni Vergere na sa mga hospital setting ay isang common practice ang pagsasagawa ng decontamination pero dapat ang isang health worker ay nakasuot ng PPE. Maaari aniyang sa implementasyon ng decontamination process nagkaroon ng problema gaya ng nangyaring insidente sa Phil Sports Arena Quarantine Facility kung saan isa ang nasawi.
Still April nung nagpalabas tayo ng instructions para sa ating mga facilities. Although in healthcare settings, especially in hospitals, it is really a common practice, no? Especially sa mga ospital na bago mag-doff, bago tanggalin ang PPE, dinidecontaminate talaga ang ating mga healthcare workers. Now, it's really a process, baka sa implementasyon tayo nagkakaroon ng mga issues na ganito.
Umaasa si Vergere na magsasalbing leksyon ang pangyayaring ito at magsalbi ring babala upang sundin ng lahat ang advisory ng DOH at World Health Organization patungkol sa paggamit ng mga misting at spraying tents.
Sa mga healthcare settings, nakakumpletong PPE ang ating mga doktor, mga nurses, mga nagtatrabaho sa ospital kapag dinidecontaminate sila. Pero dito sa mga tao na halimbawa yung ibang malls, merong ganyan, papasok ka, sinispray ka, that is very dangerous. And I hope that this incident would serve as a lesson.
Matatandaang sa mga naunang advisory ay sinabi ng DOH na walang mga ebidensya na nagpapatunay na nakakamatay ng COVID-19 ang mga misting at pag-spray ng disinfection chemical, kaya naman hindi rin nila ito inirerekomenda. Mapanganib rin umano ito lalo na sa baga kung malalanghap at sa balat ay maaari naman itong magdulot ng skin irritation. Sa kalikasan naman, nakakapagdulot lamang din umano ito ng polusyon. Para sa Eagle News, Madeline Villar Moratillo, we live in interesting times.
Bukas ang Office of the Civil Defense sa anumang investigasyon kaugnay ng pagkamatay ng doktor na pulis na si Captain Cassie Gutierrez matapos na makalanghap ng disinfectant habang sumasa ilalim sa decontamination sa Ultra noong May 24. Hiningi na ni PNP Chief General Archie Gamboa ang tulong ng National Bureau of Investigation para pangunahan ang investigasyon sa pagkamatay ng doktor na pulis. Nasawi si Captain Gutierrez matapos na makalanghap ng concentrated disinfectant solution habang sumasa ilalim sa decontamination sa Ultra noong May 24. Bukod sa PNP, nais ni Gamboa na isama sa investigasyon ng Office of the Civil Defense na umano'y in charge sa procurement ng supply sa quarantine facility. Sa pahayag na inilabas ni OCD spokesperson Mark Timbal, sinabi niya na ang mga serbisyo lang na hawak nila ay food catering, lodging, provision of PPEs, hygiene kits, medical equipment, supplies, janitor services at ang waste collection disposal. Hindi umano involved ang OCD sa pamamahala at operasyon ng anumang COVID-19 quarantine facility. Sa harap nito, nilinaw ni General Gamboa na hindi nila sinisisi ang OCD sa pagkamatay ni Captain Cassie Gutierrez. Hinihingi lang daw nila ang tulong ng OSD sa investigasyon para madetermina kung saan galing ang disinfectant solution na ginamit sa pasilidad dahil ang OCD ang nagbibigay ng accreditation sa mga service providers sa quarantine facility. Iginiit ni Gamboa ng ibang uri ng disinfectant solution na ang ginamit sa Ultra sa ginagamit sa PICC quarantine facility na pinamamahalaanan ng PNP. Inatasan ni PNP Chief General Archie Gamboa ang PNP Anti-cybercrime group na imbestigahan ang pagkalat ng mga fake Facebook accounts. Ayon kay Gamboa, nais niyang malaman kung bakit biglang dumami ang mga Facebook dummy accounts na inirereklamo ngayon ng mga netizen. Kaugnay nito, hinihikayat ni Gamboa ang mga netizens na i-report ang mga peking account para hindi na ito magamit pa sa kalokohan tulad na lang ng pagpapakalat ng maling impormasyon. Aalamin din ng ACG kung may kinalaman ang pag-usbong ng mga dummy accounts sa umunoy red tagging ng mga kontra sa anti-terror bill. Pagkalat ng dummy Facebook accounts, pinaiimbestigahan ng Kamara sa National Bureau of Investigation. Mga nasa likod nito, pinakakasuhan. May report si Eden Santos.
Pinaiimbestigahan sa National Bureau of Investigation na NBI ang pagkalat ng mga dummy at peking Facebook accounts. Ayon kay Kabayan Party List Representative Ronzalo, Vice Chairman ng House Committee on Public Information, nakakabahala ang pangyayaring ito kung saan ay marami ang mga naging biktima. Anya sila mismo ng kanyang mga staff ay nagkaroon din ng dummy account. Dapat umanong matukoy ng NBI ang mga nasa likod ng illegal na aktibidad na ito para masampahan ng kaso.
Sadyang nakakabahala ang paglipano o pagdami ng mga tinatawag po natin na fake o dummy accounts sa Facebook o social media ng ating mga netizens itong mga huling araw. Sa totoo lang, kahit po ako at ng membro ng aking staff at ilang mga kakilala ay nagkaroon din ng fake o dummy accounts. Mukhang coordinated o systematic ang ginagawa kung sino man yung grupo na nasa likod po nito. Ang tawag po natin dito ay identity theft o kaya ay kasama rin po sa tinatawag po natin na cybercrime. Kaya nananawagan po tayo sa ating NBI na paigtingin po nila bilisan ng kailang investigasyon na ginagawa upang kung sino man yung nasa likod po nito at kung ano man po yung rason po nila ay mapanagot sa batas.
Nanawagan din ng kongresista sa Facebook na magsagawa rin ng pagsisiyasat. Pinayuhan naman ito ang mga netizen na maging alerto at agad mag-report sa NBI at Facebook kung sila ay naging biktima ng cyber attacks.
Siguro dapat Facebook muna yung umaksyon dyan eh.
Kung kaya po nila, sana po para matigil na po siya.
Masama yun eh. Masama yun sa mga kapwa natin eh. Meron nabiktima ko doon, isang bahay. Parang pinapaglaruan niya. Oo. Pwede nang imbestigahan niya ng gumagamit ng account ng mali. Kasama yun eh.
Hindi po tama yun kasi parang inaano yung pagkatao mo nun. Ay, dapat po imbestiga kasi wala namang ibang pwede mag-imbestiga kundi sila. Kasi sila yung dyan sa cybercrime eh.
Wala na po, masabi ko lang po, mag-ingat-ingat na lang po sa mga nagagawa ng mga maling account ba. Kasi minsan kasi gumagamit sila ng mga mga peking account ba para lang makalinlang sa iba. Kasi sa tingin ko hindi naman po, kailangan lang na po na pag-iingat lang po.
Ang Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012 ay nilagdaan ni Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte noong September 12, 2012. Layo ng batas na masugpo ang cybersex, online child pornography, identity theft at spamming at ito ay may kaparusahan hanggang 12 taong pagkakakulong.
Nanawagan din po tayo sa Facebook. Alam ko naman na mayroon po silang pamaraan at mekanismo upang i-weed out immediately ang mga fake o dummy accounts.
Para sa Eagle News, Eden Santos, we live in interesting times.
Susunod, oath-taking ng mga bagong abogado sa pamamagitan ng online video conference itinakda sa June 25. Ang detalye na yan sa pagbabalik ng Agila Balita sa umaga.
Agila Balita.
Patindi ng patindi at tuloy-tuloy ang pagpapakita ng galing ng ating mga TNG aspirants. Abangan ang kanilang performances sa pinakamalaking talent competition sa buong bansa, Tagisan ng Galing.
This program is presented by SMC Infrastructure, building a better world. Sandig sugar-free white coffee, puno ng white coffee taste without the sugar, kaya lower calories. Try mo na Sandig sugar-free white coffee. Sarap ng white coffee, now sugar-free. Vet-approved NutriChocs, the only premium dog food with active boost for optimum energy and prebiotics that help strengthen immunity. Just like Catherine Bernardo, gawing listo ganado ang fur babies niyo. Listo ganado sa NutriChocs. Magnolia Chicken Templados, delicious, ready to cook and freshly marinated daily. Pure Foods Lunch and Meat, pure sarap for every family. Star Chunky Cheese Corned Beef, ang cheesy ng corned beef mo. Walang duda, kids can tell na #1 ang Pure Foods Tender Juicy. Ang tender, ang juicy, ang sarap. Co-presented by Cooper, expert in air conditioning and electromechanical. Also engaged in structural, electrical, fire protection, plumbing and sanitary services. Cooper, your ultimate MEPS and air conditioning solutions. Unlad Incorporated International, fight against global poverty. New San Jose Builders Incorporated. Canrib Corporation, your ventilation and air conditioning specialist. Vita Herbs Philippines Green Coffee. Masarap, mabango, at healthy pa. Puerto Rico Resort and Convention Center, Cabiao, Nueva Ecija. I love Puerto Rico. In participation with Rain or Shine Elastomeric Waterproofing Paint, Matinco. R Square Variables Incorporated, CompuZell Computer Services, Saisho International Trading Corporation, DN Steel, EMAC UPB Roof Corporation.
Hey, Gretchen Ho here, and I'm a white coffee lover. Creamy kasi, and very yummy. Pero mas masarap kung hindi nakaka-guilty. Check my new discovery, Sandmade Sugar-Free White Coffee. Puno ng white coffee taste without the sugar, kaya lower calories. Try mo na! Sandmade Sugar-Free White Coffee. Sarap ng white coffee, now sugar-free.
The successful development of TPLEX, or Tarlac Pangasinan La Union Expressway in 2009, a 4-lane toll road that extends from Tarlac City to Rosario La Union with an additional approved extension of 56 kilometers all the way to San Juan La Union. This is expected to reduce travel time to Baguio and other provinces in northern Luzon. Realizing the vision of creating a better world for Filipinos fueled the team's focus.
Listo at ganado ang baby ko sa vet-approved Nutri-Chunks with active boost and prebiotics na pampalisto. Made with real meat, with essential nutrients to help them grow healthy and happy. Listo, ganado sa Nutri-Chunks.
Ikaw lang ang star ng buhay ko. Para sa akin, perfect ka. Ibang klase ang sarap ng corned beef mo. Ang cheesy ng corned beef mo. Pag Star Chunky Cheese Corned Beef, sarap ng corned beef, inangat pa ng real cheese cubes. Kaya perfect ang sarap. Star Chunky Cheese Corned Beef.
Agila,
Kapwa pirmado na ng mga leader ng Kongreso ang Anti-Terrorism Bill at naipadala na ito kay Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte para sa kanyang lagda. Samantala, kinumpirma naman ni Senadora Risa Hontiveros na may mga grupong kumikilos para questionin sa Korte Suprema ang legalidad ng ipinasang Anti-Terrorism Bill. Si Mayan Corvera sa detalye.
Naipadala na ng Kamara at Senado kay Pangulong Duterte ang kopya ng pinagtibay na anti-terror bill. Ayon kay Senate President Vicente Soto, nilagdaan nila ni House Speaker Alan Peter Cayetano ang panukala at ipinadala ito sa tanggapan ng Pangulo sa pamamagitan ng email. Ayon kay Soto, ipinauubayan nila sa Pangulo kung lalagdaan o i-veto ang panukalang batas. Pero giit ng Senador, ipinasa ang anti-terror bill bilang amyenda sa Human Security Act batay sa kahilingan ng security cluster ng gobyerno. Ayaw kasi anya nila maging safe haven o taguan ng mga terorista ang Pilipinas gaya na nangyari sa Marawi City. Binatikos rin ni Soto ang mga humaharang sa anti-terror bill at iginiit na mali ang mga impormasyong kumakalat sa social media. Hindi pa rin kumbinsido si Senador Risa Hontiveros na igagalang ang karapatang pantao at kalayaan sa pagsasalita oras na maging batas ang panukala. Pinumpirma ni Hontiveros na may mga grupo na kumikilos ngayon para questionin sa Korte Suprema ang legalidad ng ipinasang anti-terror bill. Dalahok raw siya sa mga grupong ito na plano magsampa ng petisyon oras na nagdaan ni Pangulong Duterte ang panukala at maging ganap na batas. Kumukonsulta na niya sila sa mga legal experts para sa kanilang magiging susunod na hakbang. Partikular na kinukwestiyon ni Hontiveros ang probisyon ng panukala para sa pinahabang period para sa warrantless arrest na paglabagaan niya sa democratic freedom na ginagarantihan ng saligang batas.
May mga grupo ngayon, mga individual na nag-aaral na kapag ka na-sign into law na ito, i-raise nila sa atensyon ng Korte Suprema. So kung ganun ang mag-materialize na scenario, ay syempre aasa ako at magdarasal na bibigyan ng karampatan at mabigat na timbang ng ating kataas-taasang hukuman yung mga seryosong issue kung kaya't may matinding pangamba ang mga mamamayan ngayon sa anti-terrorism bill. Lalo na po yung mga issue ng pinalawak na definisyon ng terorismo, yung issue ng preliminary proscription ng mga suspected na terrorist organizations bago pa man sila makapagdepensa sa kanilang organisasyon at sa kanilang mga miyembro at kanilang property din.
Apilan niya sa Pangulo wag nang lagdaan ng anti-terror bill at unahin ang mga isyu na may pakinabang ang mahihirap na mamamayan.
Unahin na lang sana ni Presidente ang COVID-19 response. Makinig siya sa sentimiento ng publiko. At sana talaga huwag na niyang pirmahan yung anti-terrorism bill into law. Ako po'y nagkukonsulta pa rin at nag-aaral kasama ng mga legal experts kung mangunguna ba or sasali sa paghain ng isang kaso sa Korte Suprema. Pero kung ano pa man, kahit pa hindi, kung iba ang aking magiging gawain, parallel doon, ay patuloy akong susuporta sa ganyang mga gawain at lahat pa ng mga malikhain at active non-violent na mga gawain ng mamamayan para depensahan ang ating mga kalayaan at ang ating mga karapatan.
Para sa Eagle News, may Ann Corbera, we live in interesting times.
Sa kauna-unahang pagkakataon, isasagawa sa pamamagitan ng online video conference ang panunumpa ng mga bagong abogado. Ayon sa Supreme Court Public Information Office, itinakda ng Korte Suprema ang oath-taking ceremony ng mga nakapasa sa 2019 bar examination sa June 25, 2020. Mahigit 2,000 bar exam passers ang nakatakdang manumpa. Ipalalabas din sa Government TV Network ang panunumpa ng mga bagong abogado. Sinabi ng Korte Suprema na dahil sa COVID-19 pandemic at pagbabawal sa mass gatherings ay hindi nito maisasagawa ang tradisyonal na oath-taking ng mga nakapasa sa bar exams. Nilinaw ng Supreme Court na ang online oath-taking ay eksklusibo lang sa 2019 bar passers dahil sa public health crisis. Inatasan naman ng Supreme Court ang Office of the Bar Confidant na maglabas ng kaukulang abiso ukol sa detalye at mga panuntunan para sa online oath-taking.
Mga pangyayari sa labas ng bansa. Balitang Abroad.
Naospital ang chairman ng main opposition party ng Tanzania na si Freeman Mbowe matapos atakihin at gulpihin ng mga hindi pa nakikilalang salarin. Ayon kay Regional Police Commander Gilias Muroto, inatake ng 3 lalaki ang opposition leader. Nabalian niya ang kanang paa ng biktima dahil sa pag-atake. Samantala, ipinahayag naman ng opposition party na politika ang motibo ng naganap na pag-atake. Magugunit ang ilang beses nang inaakusahan ni Mbowe ang kanilang gobyerno ng cover-up sa tunay na kalagayan ng coronavirus sa Tanzania kung saan itinigil ng mga otoridad ang pagbibigay ng update simula pa noong Abril. Umaasa ang China na magkakasundo ang South at North Korea sa harap ng muling pag-init ng tensyon sa Korean archipelago. Sinabi ni China Ministry of Foreign Affairs spokesperson Hua Chunying na naniniwala ang Beijing na maayos pa rin ang relasyon ng dalawang bansa. Ito ay sa harap ng ginawa ng Pyongyang na pagputol sa lahat ng official communication links nila ng Seoul.
朝韩是同一民族 北南关系是影响半岛形势的重要的因素。作为近邻，中方一贯支持，并且希望朝韩双方呢通过对话和协商改善相互关系，推进和解合作。
Impormasyon at kaalaman sa kalakalan. Balitang Business.
Inanunsyo ng British energy giant BP na magbabawas sila ng nasa 10,000 trabaho o katumbas ng 15% ng kanilang global workforce dahil sa epekto ng coronavirus pandemic. Sinabi ni BP Chief Executive Bernard Looney na sisimulan na nila ang pagproseso sa pag-aalis ng nasa 10,000 empleyado. Karamihan anya sa mga ito ay maaalis sa katapusan ng taon. Ang nasabing kumpanya ay mayroong 70,000 staff. Malaki anya ang epekto sa kanilang industriya ng ipinatupad na lockdown ng iba't ibang bansa at ang pagtigil ng operasyon ng maraming airline companies. Sinabi ng opisyal na mas malaki na ang kanilang ginagastos kaysa sa kanilang kinikita. Dahil dito, pumalo na anya sa $6 billion ang utang ng kumpanya sa unang bahagi ng taon. At yan ang naging kabuuan ng ating may init na balita. Sa pangalan ng ating mga kaagapay sa Eagle News Service, ako po si Maricar Velasco and we live in interesting times. Susunod na ang programang Saganang Mamamayan kasama sina Congressman Dante Marcoleta at Jen Superjaga.
Sumainyo ang mga balitang kinarap, maingat na isinulat at inihanay ng Eagle News Service. Agila Balita!